Hey guys, good evening. All are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm once. All are getting screen and voice. Please confirm in chat box. We'll start the session. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for confirmation. See guys. So in yesterday's session, we discussed about what is SDLC and what methodologies are available in SDLC. What is waterfall methodology? What limitations are there with waterfall methodology? When this waterfall methodology is suitable, right? So we discussed what is SDLC, right? What disadvantages so with SDLC, disadvantages with SDLC, disadvantages with SDLC. Sorry, 1 minute guys. SDLC methodologies, disadvantages with waterfall, right? SDLC methodologies we discussed, right? What is waterfall methodology? How this waterfall methodology will work? How this waterfall methodology will work? Disadvantages with waterfall methodology, right? So disadvantages with waterfall methodology. So when we can choose waterfall methodology. So guys, all these things we discussed in last session. Let's have a look into this yesterday session. In yesterday's session, we discussed about what is SDLC, right? What SDLC methodologies we have, what is waterfall methodology, right? How this waterfall methodology will work, disadvantages with waterfall methodology, and when we can choose this waterfall methodology. And all these things we discussed in yesterday session. Fine guys. So as per today's session, we are going to talk about Agile methodology. Agile methodology. So why we are going for this Agile methodology, guys? Whatever the problems we are facing with this waterfall methodology, all those problems we can overcome by using this Agile methodology. If you go with this Agile methodology, we can overcome the problems which we face with this waterfall methodology. Okay, guys, tell me, what is this Agile methodology? What is Agile? What is Agile, guys? Agile also one of the SDLC methodology like waterfall. Right? SDLC is what? One of the SDLC methodology. Same way, this Agile also one of the SDLC methodology. Agile is a one of the powerful SDLC methodology. One of the most powerful SDLC methodology, guys. Waterfall also one of the SDLC methodology only. Agile also one of the SDLC methodology only. But in waterfall, we have several disadvantages are there. All those disadvantages we can overcome with this Agile approach. Right? In Agile, what we are doing, guys? In Agile, right, we will divide the project. We will break the project. We will break the project into multiple phases or several phases. Agile, what we are doing, guys? So we are breaking the project into several phases, guys. But if you go with the waterfall methodology, right, we are going to develop the project, right? We are going to develop entire project in single shot. We are going to deliver entire project in single shot if you go with waterfall methodology. But coming to Agile, not like that. Whatever the project we have, we need to break that project into several phases, multiple phases. In Agile terminology, phases is nothing but what? Sprint. Several sprints we need to divide, guys. In Agile terminology, right, several phases are nothing but what? Several sprints. Okay, guys. This Agile we can call as iterative approach also. Right? We can call Agile is also called as iterative approach to develop and deliver the project. To develop and deliver the project. But if you go with the waterfall, guys, waterfall is not iterative approach. Then what is waterfall? Waterfall is a linear approach. Waterfall is a sequential approach. Waterfall is a step-by-step approach. But Agile is a iterative approach. It is not linear, it is not sequential, it is not step-by-step. It is a iterative approach. See guys, Agile is one of the powerful SDLC methodology. In Agile, we will break the project into several phases. Agile, we can call it as iterative approach also. Right? If you go with this Agile, guys, right? Yesterday I told, if you go with Agile, we can achieve continuous development and continuous delivery. But if you go with waterfall, there is no continuous process, guys. Develop and deliver, that's it. But in Agile, right, continuous process, sprints wise, continuous development and continuous delivery process is available in Agile. Right, with Agile approach, we can achieve continuous development and continuous delivery. With this Agile approach, we can achieve continuous development and continuous delivery. In waterfall, we don't have this approach, guys. We don't have continuous development and continuous delivery. But with Agile, we can achieve that. Right, guys? See, one more very, very important, guys, if you go with Agile. Right, so constant collaboration with the stakeholders is available. Right, in Agile, right, we will have constant collaboration with all stakeholders. Stakeholders are nothing but whom? Stakeholders means whom? Right, clients, whoever given the project to company, right, those clients we will call it as stakeholders. In Agile, we will have constant collaboration, right, with all the stakeholders. Every sprint, once your sprint is completed, we need to go to the client, we need to get the feedback from the client. If client is satisfied, then only we will start the next sprint. Right, here we have the constant collaboration with the stakeholders, guys. In waterfall, at the end only client can, right, test the application. Right, at the end only we can give the demo to the client in waterfall. But in Agile, not like that. For every sprint, client should give the feedback. We should take the feedback from the client for every sprint, guys. Right, whenever he is satisfied with that sprint, then only we will move to the next sprint in Agile methodology. Right, guys? See, guys, in Agile, right, planning, design, implementation, testing and delivery. Testing and delivery is a cyclic process. Guys. But in waterfall, it is a step-by-step process. In Agile, this is the cyclic process. In Agile, it is a cyclic process, guys. Guys, please go through the steps once. Very clear. Agile is one of the most powerful SDLC methodology. Right? In Agile, we will break the project into several phases. Right? Agile is also called as iterative approach to develop and deliver the project to client. Right? With Agile approach, we can achieve continuous development and continuous delivery. In Agile, we will have constant collaboration with all the stakeholders. Right? In Agile, this planning, design, implementation, testing, and delivery is a cyclic process. Please go through the steps once, guys. Guys, when you go with the waterfall, in waterfall, do we have all these facilities? In waterfall, do we have all this facility, guys? No. In waterfall, we are not going to break the project into several phases. Right? In waterfall, right? See, guys, here that is not iterative approach. In waterfall, there is no continuous development and delivery process. Right? In waterfall, constant collaboration with stakeholders is not available. Right? In waterfall, this planning, design, implementation, testing, all these are the step-by-step process. Let me take one diagram, guys. Let me take the diagram for this Agile. Go to images. Go to images. Here you will get some beautiful diagrams. See, guys. See? Here you can see. See, guys, this is the cyclic process, guys. In Agile, everything is cyclic process. So this is the cyclic process in Agile. Right. First, guys, what is the first one, guys? Requirement definition and analysis of the concept. So this is the first phase in Agile. Next phase is planning of the sprints. Here what we are doing, guys, we are dividing the project into multiple sprints. In Agile, once the requirements are clear, once you gather the requirement, once you analyze the requirements, what we are doing, we are dividing the project into multiple sprints, planning of sprints. Right, next here, collaborative design, guys, collaborative design for the development. Next, guys, create and implement. Next, review and monitor. So this is the cyclic process, guys. This is the cyclic process in Agile. But if you go with the waterfall, step-by-step process, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step, like this, step-by-step process, guys. But in Agile, it is a cyclic process. See, guys, analysis of concept and requirements definitions determine current state and your expectations. Analysis of concepts and requirements definitions determine current state and your expectations. Next phase, guys, arrange teams and tools needed to optimize the production. See, guys, from the beginning of the process, the end user's involvement and feedback is critical. See, guys, from the beginning of the process, the end user's involvement and feedback is critical. Frequent development delivery through sprints. See, guys, how development and delivery is happening based on the sprints. Guys. Frequent development and delivery through sprints. Feedback on the testing and appropriate changes are imperative. Next, guys, ensure that so you are reviewing and monitoring key metrics for success. See, guys, so this is cyclic process. Agile is a cyclic process, guys. See, guys, now read the steps once. Read the steps once, guys. Right, guys. Next, observe carefully. Here, how we will divide the project into multiple sprints. Multiple sprints, guys. Sprint planning. Sprint planning. Take one more diagram related to sprint. Go to images. Go to images. Go to images. Agile. Oh, let me take here Agile sprint planning. It's fine. Nothing is, all are same. Just I am looking for some better. See guys, how sprint planning. See guys, entire project we are dividing into multiple sprints, guys. Entire projects we are dividing into multiple sprints. Okay, assume that the client has given 100 requirements. Client has given 100 requirements, guys. Right. So if you go with the waterfall methodology, all these 100 requirements we need to deliver in single shot. Waterfall methodology, all these 100 requirements we need to deliver in single shot, guys. But coming to Agile, what we are doing, all these 100 requirements we are going to split. We are going to break into several phases. In Agile terminology, phase is nothing but right, a sprint. A sprint, guys. See, in first sprint, total 100 requirements I am going to divide into 3 sprints. I'm going to divide as 3 sprints, guys. As first sprint, right, I'm going to deliver 30 requirements. 30 requirements I will deliver. Right, as a second sprint, I'm going to deliver 30 requirements. Right, as third sprint, right, I'm going to deliver 40 requirements, guys. Total how many requirements? 100 requirements. In first sprint, I am going to deliver 30 requirements. In second sprint, I am going to deliver 30 requirements. In third sprint, I am going to deliver 40 requirements. See guys, once the first sprint is completed, what we are doing? We are delivering to the client. We are not keeping at our end. We are not keeping at our end. Right? Once the first sprint is completed, we are delivering these 30 requirements to the client. So on that 30 requirements, client can get the revenue. Client start the business with this 30 requirement first, and the client will get the revenue on these 30 requirements. right? So once second sprint is completed, we are going to deliver next 30 requirements also, right? Once you deliver the second requirement, client will get the revenue on total 60 requirements. Total 60 requirements, client will get the revenue, guys. Right, once third sprint is completed, we will hand over these 40 requirements also to the client. Client will get the revenue on all the requirements. Understood, guys? But if you go with the waterfall methodology, right, client should wait until completing all the requirements. Right. So we don't have multiple releases in this waterfall methodology, guys. But if you go with Agile, we have multiple releases are available. Right. Delivering the sprint is nothing but one release. Delivering the sprint, we will call it as a release, guys. In the companies, we will some type, right? If any, right, some people will call, today we have the release, today we have the delivery. Means what? They are releasing the sprint. One sprint delivery is nothing but release. One release we will call it as, guys. One phase is nothing but sprint. Whenever requirements came from the client, first we need to break that requirement into multiple sprints like this. Right? First you need to identify in the given project total how many requirements are there. Right? So in those 100 requirements, what are the most important requirements we need to identify and we need to keep in that first sprint. Right, next remaining things, second sprint, third sprint, like that we need to split the requirements into multiple sprints like this, guys. Okay, see, first sprint I want to start. I want to start the first sprint, guys. If you want to start the first sprint, what you need to do, right? In first sprint, what are the requirements? You need to gather the requirement. In first sprint, what are the requirement you have? You need to gather that requirement fast. Right? Once a requirement is gathered, next you need to do the design. Guys, you are doing the design only for first sprint, not for all 100 requirements. Right? Once a design is completed, develop those 30 requirements. Once a develop is completed, test those 30 requirements only and deliver those 30 requirements to the client. Right? Once 30 requirements is completed, we need to go to the client. And we need to take the feedback from the client. If a client is happy with our development or not, client is satisfied with our development or not, if client suggests any changes, we need to work on those changes also. In the middle, requirement changes are allowed in Agile methodology. But if you go with waterfall, in the middle, requirement changes are not acceptable. But in Agile, it is allowed, guys. It is acceptable. Okay, fine, guys. Right, client is satisfied with the first sprint, then we need to start the second sprint. Again, in second sprint, what we need to do? First, we need to gather the second sprint requirements. What are the second sprint requirements are there? We need to gather those requirements. Next, again, we need to design for the second sprint. Again, we need to develop the second sprint requirements. And again, we need to test the second sprint requirements. And we need to deliver the second sprint to the client. And again, we need to take the feedback from the client. Client is satisfied or not. Client will suggest any changes. Right? We need to work on those things. If client is satisfied, then we can start the third sprint. Again, in third sprint, see guys, here, whatever we are mentioned at here, Agile, planning, design, implementation, testing, delivery is a cyclic process. This is for all the sprints, guys, not for only one time. This is not only one-time activity. For every sprint, these are the common things which we need to do. See guys, right, in Agile, continuous development, continuous delivery is available. Right guys, here collaboration, right, with the stakeholders, collaboration is available, guys. For every sprint, we need to consult with the stakeholders and we need to take the feedback. Right guys, all these points are satisfying or not at here? Right, with these diagrams, all the points are satisfying or not? Respond, guys. Guys, if you want to release the sprint, guys, who will involve, guys, in that release process? Who will involve? Please respond in chat box, guys. I'm not getting any responses. As two-way communication is required. Guys, right, in the releasing time, right, right, so DevOps team will be involved, guys. Right, sprint releasing means DevOps team is mandatory. That release process will be taken care by the DevOps team only. right? When DevOps team is required at here, at the time of releasing. Right, guys, for each sprint one release is there, guys. Here total 3 sprints are there, so 3 releases are required at here. For every release, right, before releasing to the client, we should take the feedback from the client, guys. Right, we are dividing the requirement into multiple sprints like this, right? So the process of dividing the requirement into multiple phases is called as sprint planning. See, guys, in previous diagram, we have seen sprint planning. Sprint planning, guys. What is this planning of the sprint? The process of dividing the project into multiple sprints is called as sprint planning. Sprint planning, guys. Right? Right. One sprint is nothing but what, guys? One sprint is nothing but what? Set of requirements. One sprint is nothing but what? Set of requirements. In each sprint, requirements are there, guys. See, in first sprint, 30 requirements are available. In second sprint, 30 requirements are available. In third sprint, 40 requirements are available. A sprint is nothing but what? Set of requirements. Dividing the project into multiple sprints is called as sprint planning. Sprint planning meeting is there. Right, they will tell, right, some people will use. So today we have the sprint planning session. Sprint planning means what? Dividing the project into multiple sprints, guys. Right, so in agile methodologies, in the companies, guys, we won't use this word, guys, requirements. We won't use the word requirements, guys. In the companies, right, requirements is nothing but what? Story. One requirement is one story, guys. In first sprint, total 30 stories are available which we need to work. In second sprint, total 30 stories are available which we need to work. In third sprint, 40 stories are available which we need to work, guys. No, guys. Sprint planning session, DevOps team not at all involved. Why? Because the DevOps team should work on multiple projects, guys. In the company, DevOps team will involve in the multiple project, not a single project. Right? For DevOps people, separate sprint meetings will happen, guys. Separate sprint meetings will happen for the DevOps team. Why? Because the DevOps team, right, dedicated DevOps team is not available for any project. Right? DevOps team means they should work on multiple projects, guys. They should provide the support to multiple projects. Okay. Okay, guys, some companies will involve DevOps team also in the sprint planning session. Right? But actually, guys, most of the companies, right, for DevOps teams, separate sprint meetings will happen. Okay. Right, guys, this is development, designing, testing. This is not DevOps team activity. These are not DevOps team activity, guys. Collecting the requirements, preparing the design document, developing the code, testing the application. This is not development activity. This is the DevOps team activity. Once the testing is completed, whenever they are going to release the sprint to client, then DevOps team is there. At that point of time, DevOps team will come to here. Okay, for delivery process, DevOps team will come, guys. In all these phases, DevOps team is not required. Right? In sprint planning session, what they will decide? Right? Total what requirements are available? Right? How many sprints we need to divide? Right? That discussion will happen, guys. So that discussion, DevOps team is not required for that discussion. Okay. Guys, requirements are nothing but what? Stories. Story is nothing but what? A task. Story is nothing but task, guys. Right? See, these are the stories. In the companies, we need to use this terminology only. Right? There is no requirements. We need to call it as stories. Right? The story is nothing but what? A task. A task, guys. Sprint planning means what? Dividing the requirements into multiple sprints is called as sprint planning. Is this clear, guys? So did you guys got the clarity? What is the difference between waterfall methodology and agile methodology? Do you guys understand the difference between waterfall and agile methodology? Right, guys, tell me, what is the difference, guys? Guys, right, guys, what is the difference between waterfall and agile? Guys, in waterfall, right, it is a linear approach. right? Linear approach, step-by-step approach, sequential approach, right? In waterfall methodology, once requirement is analysis, requirement gathering is completed, then only you will go for the analysis, then only you will go for the design, then only you will go for the development, then only you will go for the testing, right? In waterfall, you can't able to come back to the previous phases. In waterfall methodology, you should deliver the entire project in single shot. In waterfall methodology, testing will happen at the end only. In waterfall methodology, client interactions are very, very less. In waterfall methodology, very high risk is there. But coming to agile methodology, guys, we are not going to deliver the project in single shot. We are going to divide the project into several sprints in agile methodology. Sprints wise we are delivering in agile methodology, right? So this is iterative approach, right? Here multiple releases are available in agile methodology, right? Requirements changes are acceptable in the middle of the middle guys in agile methodology, but in waterfall that facility is not there. Right at the beginning, whatever the requirements you have given, that is fixed in the waterfall, but coming to agile, requirement changes are acceptable in the middle, right guys? So these are the differences between waterfall and agile methodology. Whatever the problems we have seen in waterfall methodology, all those problems we can overcome with this agile, right guys? Is it clear, guys? Right, guys. Fine, guys. Coming to agile, the companies, what terms we will use, guys? Coming to the agile methodology, what terminology we need to use in the companies? See, guys. First, guys. Before starting the sprint, right? We should have backlog grooming session. Backlog grooming sessions are required. Before starting the sprint, we should have these backlog grooming sessions. Right, guys? For each sprint, what we will have, guys? We will have stories. For each sprint, we will have stories, guys. Right? For every story contains story points. Story points, guys. For every story points are available. Right, guys? Here we will take sprint planning, backlog grooming sessions, sprint planning sessions, story points. Right, next here we have, right, we can take sprint planning, what is a sprint, stories, story points. Next here scrum meetings, retrospective meeting. See, guys, so these are the terminologies which we need to in the agile, guys. And when you are working with agile methodology, compulsory you should know all these things. Guys. When we are working with agile methodology, we should know all these things. Backlog grooming, sprint planning, sprint stories, story points, scrum meeting, retrospective meeting. All these things you should know. Okay, so in backlog grooming, what we are discussing, guys? In backlog grooming means what we will discuss, guys. So this is one kind of team meeting, guys. Right here, backlog grooming is nothing but one kind of team meeting. Here, all team members, right? All team members should sit together and they need to decide what pending works are available, what pending stories are there. Everything we need to discuss in the backlog grooming session. Right? How many things are pending? Right? Those things we need to discuss in backlog grooming session only. So this is the team meeting. This is the team meeting to discuss or to identify the pending things, guys. Pending works. So this is the team meeting to identify the pending works. Right. So how many requirements are there? Right. In those requirements, what requirements are pending? Right. Those things we need to identify in backlog grooming sessions. Next, guys, sprint planning. Sprint planning means what, guys? Sprint planning. That is also team meeting only. That is also team meeting only. In the sprint planning only, we need to identify the important stories to work, guys. In first sprint, what important stories are there which we need to work. So those things we need to discuss in the sprint planning meeting. This is the team meeting. So this is the team meeting. Here what we will do, guys, in this meeting, what we will do, this is the team meeting to identify the stories, right? To identify the priority stories to work. Right. First priority stories we need to put in the first sprint. Second priority stories we need to put in another sprint. Least priority stories we need to put in another sprint, like that. Right. We need to identify the stories priority wise to work, guys. Right. In this meeting, we will identify the stories priority basis. We will identify the stories in sprint planning session. Right. Sprint is nothing but what, guys? Sprint is nothing but what? What is a sprint, guys? What is a sprint? Guys, backlog grooming sessions, sprint planning. These are the meetings, guys. These are the meetings only. So in these meetings only, we will discuss these things, guys. Right, backlog grooming means, right, all the team members will sit together and we will identify the pending works. Sprint planning means this is also one kind of meeting only to identify the priority stories. It suppose I have some pending works. In those pending works, what are the high priority stories we have? Those priority stories we need to identify and we need to keep in the current sprint, like that, guys. Next, sprint is nothing but what? Set of stories. Set of stories. Sprint is nothing but set of stories, guys. Set of stories, we will call it as sprint, guys. Set of stories. Set of stories to work. Set of stories to work, guys. Right, guys. Next, duration. Sprint duration. At interview, they will ask, guys, sprint duration means 2 to 3 weeks, guys. Right, 2 to 3 weeks. 3 weeks max. 2 to 3 weeks max, guys. Right, within 2 to 3 weeks, we need to complete the sprint, guys. Right, some companies will complete it 1 week only. Right, 1 week is not sufficient, guys. At least 2 weeks is required. At least 10 days is required to complete the sprint. Right, so if you take 10 days, right, monthly, how many sprints we can complete? 3 sprints we can complete. 3 sprints we can complete. Duration means, right, the minimum 2 to 3 weeks max, guys. Minimum to max 3 weeks sprint duration, guys. Don't tell 3 months, 4 months. Right, sprint always 2 to 3 weeks only duration of the sprint, guys. Right, we never exceed more than 3 weeks, guys. Right, max 3 weeks only. Right, guys. Next, guys, what is the story, guys? Story is nothing but a task. It is a task which we need to work, which we need to complete, guys. Story is a task which we need to complete. Story points, guys. Every story will have some story points. Story points, guys. Story points will decide. Story points will decide the duration of the each story, guys. Duration of the story will tell this story points only. Right, the duration to complete the story. It is a duration to complete the story. It is a duration to complete the story, guys. Right. See, guys, generally like this, they will give the story points. Generally like this, they will give the story points, guys. See here, if they are giving 3 points for this story, 3 points if they are giving for this story means in a day, right? In a day, 1 day, within 1 day, we need to complete the story. In 1 day, we need to complete the story. 1 day means not 24 hours. Right, 8 hours, guys. In 8 hours, we need to complete that story. If they are giving 8 points to the story means in 1 day, we need to finish that story. Right, if they are giving 5 points, guys, 3 points means 1 day. Right, if they are giving 5 points means within 2 days. 5 points means in 2 days we need to finish it. In 2 days we need to finish it, guys. Right? If they give 8 points, and we need to finish it in 3 days. 3 days we need to finish. So like this, every story will have the story points. Based on the story points, we need to finish the work, guys. They are giving 3 points means 3 points story we need to finish in a day. 5 points story we need to finish in 2 days. 8 points story we need to finish in 3 days, like that, guys. Right, guys? Days means not 24 hours, 8 hours only. 8 hours. Right? 1 day means 8 hours. 2 days means 16 hours. 3 days means 24 hours. Like that, guys. Like that, we need to finish the stories. Most of the companies will follow like this only. Most of the companies will follow points like this only, guys. Okay. So next, after story points, what we have? Scrum meeting. Right. Scrum meeting. It is a team meeting, guys. Here we will discuss status of the work, guys. Scrum means it is a process. Scrum is a process. Here we will discuss the work status. It is a process. In this meeting, we will discuss status of the work. Status of the work, guys. Okay. Yesterday, what I have done. See, guys, on my name, 3 stories are assigned. 3 stories are assigned. On which story currently I am working. Right? What is the status of that story? Right? Next, in which how many hours I can able to complete that story. Once that story is completed, what is the next story which I am going to work? So that kind of discussions, right, we need to do in this Scrum meetings. Right? Scrum meetings, work status. Right? They will open that Jira, guys. They will open that Jira. Right? They will check. Scrum masters are available, guys. Scrum master will open the Jira and they will call one by one name, guys. One by one. Raju, right? On your name, 3 stories are assigned. What is the status of these 3 stories? Right? I will tell. Right? One. Every story will have story ID. Story ID, guys. I am currently working on 101 story. Right? It will complete in the next 2 hours, and I will hand over this story for testing. Right? Once it is completed, I will start 102. Like that, we need to give the status in the Scrum meetings. We need to give the status in the Scrum meeting, guys. Right? It is a process, guys. But the duration of the Scrum meeting is a maximum 15 minutes only. 15 to 20 minutes only, guys. 15 to 20 minutes only. We won't spend hours on the Scrum meeting. If you spend hours of time on the Scrum meeting, when you will work, guys? That's why Scrum meeting just 15 to 20 minutes only. 15 to 20 minutes only, guys. Fine, guys. Next one is retrospective meeting. Right, retrospective meeting we can call, or some companies will call it as review meetings also. Review meetings also. When these retrospective meetings will happen, right, end of the sprint, guys. Last day of the sprint. Once sprint is completed, or next day of the sprint completed day, guys. Right, and once sprint is completed, all the team members, right, will sit together and they will discuss, right, what are the challenges we faced in the sprint. In last sprint, whatever the challenges we faced, right? What are the achievements in the last sprint, right? If anyone wants to give any ideas, they can share in this retrospective meetings, guys. How we can, right? So how we can improve? How we can improve to give the quality, right, in the next sprint? All those things we need to discuss in the retrospective meetings only. We will call it as review meetings. Review meetings, guys. What went well, what went wrong, achievements, improvements, right? Everything, ideas, everything we will discuss in these review meetings only. Understood, guys? So this is the terminology which we need to use, guys, when we are working with Agile methodology. Backlog grooming, sprint planning, sprint duration, stories, story points, Scrum meetings, retrospective meetings. Right? When we are working with Agile, right, this is the terminology which we will use daily basis in the companies. Daily we need to use this terminology in the companies, guys, when we are working with Agile model. Is it clear, guys? Is this clear, guys? Please respond once. What is Agile? Right, with Agile, what are the advantages with the Agile? When we are working with Agile, what terminologies we need to use in the company? Right, guys? Okay. So in this Agile plan, right, who will involve? Who will involve, guys? In the agile plan, who will involve, guys? Observe carefully. Observe carefully, guys. When we are working with agile, guys, see. So all these people will involve in the agile plan, guys. See, guys, we will have the Scrum Masters. Scrum Master. We will have the Scrum Master. Right. Next, we will have the team leads, and we will have the team members, and we will have the product owners. Right. All these people will involve, guys. All these people will involve in the sprint planning. See, guys, Scrum Master means who, guys? Who is Scrum Master? Who will manage the agile team? Who will manage the agile team, guys? This is Scrum Master only will take the status of the work. Who is manage our agile team? Right? If you want any discussion with the business team, go on to tell with the Scrum Master. Scrum Master will set up a meeting. Tell with Scrum Master will set up a meeting, guys. If you want any discussion with the DB team, tell with Scrum Master will arrange that meeting. Scrum Master who is managing the agile team, that person we will call it as Scrum Masters, right? Who will manage the person who will manage the entire agile team. Who will manage the entire agile team? That person we will call it as Scrum Master. Right, team leads, guys. Here you guys need to remember one point. When we are working with agile, there is no project leads. There is no project leads like that, guys. Right, we don't have team leads also. We can say technical leads, guys. Team leads, project leads, we don't have, guys. Everyone should work in agile. Everyone should work. Even your managers also will work sometime. Right, technical leads means what? Just a senior resource in the project, senior team member in the project who will help to the other team members. Technical lead is the senior resource, guys. Senior member means from long term he is working in this project. Senior member in the project. Right, who will help to the team members. Right, so those people we will call it as technical leads, guys. Right, these guys are the senior member only. There is no project lead, team lead kind of words in our agile approach. Right, everyone should work, guys. Team members means all the developers and all the testers. Right, we will call it as team members. Product owner means, guys, responsible for the deliverables. Product owner is responsible for the deliverables, guys. He is responsible to deliver this sprint to client. Right, product owner only will take the responsibility of the deliverables to the client. It who will take the responsibility of the deliverables. Right, that person we will call it as product owners. See, guys, Scrum Master, technical leads, team leads, all these people will involve it here, guys. Right, see, guys, next, guys, how many people will involve in the agile team, guys? Total as per company standards, 7 to up to 10 members, maximum 10 members, guys. Right, maximum 10 members. If you add more, right, it is very difficult to handle that team, guys. Right, it is difficult to handle. Right, if you have more members, we need to divide into multiple agile teams, guys. Understood, guys? Maximum is 10 only. Minimum is 6 to 7 we will take, guys. If you have more members, it is difficult to handle the team, guys. So if you have more members, create separate agile team. You can maintain multiple agile teams also, but each team maximum 10, minimum 6 to 7 we can take, guys. Is it clear, guys? So now you guys got the idea what is waterfall methodology, what is agile methodology, what is the difference between waterfall and agile methodologies, what terminologies we will use when we are working with agile, right? So right, which team members, right, who will involve in this agile plan, right? What is the team size of the agile, what is the size of the agile team? All these things are clear. So why we are saying agile, right? With agile we can achieve continuous delivery means, guys, are we delivering the entire project in single shot or multiple deliverables, guys? Continuous deliveries. This is one delivery, this is one delivery, this is one delivery. Like that, continuous deliveries are happening. Right? Continuous developments are happening in this agile. We are not going to deliver the project in single shot. So that's why we are saying, right, in agile we can achieve continuous delivery. Right, in every sprint, developers, testers, right, the DevOps people also, right, should work together, guys, collaboratively. Developers, testers, DevOps people also will work collaboratively. Right, DevOps engineers should have the collaboration with the development team and testing team. Then only we can able to deliver the project. Right, guys. If you want to develop the project, guys, you want to develop the project and if you want to deliver the project, you should have the infrastructure, you should have the platform, you should have that setup. Who will do that all those things? Who will do that all those things, guys? DevOps team. That's why development team, testing team should work collaboratively with the DevOps team. Then only they can provide whatever you want. If you are not working collaboratively with the DevOps team, so it is very difficult to manage, guys. See, developers wants to upload the code in the GitHub repository. Who will create the repository? Who will create the repository? Who will create the main branch in that repository? Who will create the developer branch in that repository? Developers won't create. Developers won't create, guys. So that a branch, that a repository, right, everything should be created by the DevOps engineers only. Then only developers can upload the code into the GitHub repository. So that's why development team, testing team, all the testers also will use the GitHub repository. They will write the test cases where they will upload the test cases in separate repository. They should have the repository to upload the test cases. That's why developers, testers, DevOps engineers all should work collaboratively. Then only we can deliver the project, guys. If they are not working collaboratively, it is very difficult to handle. Understood, guys? Why they need to work collaboratively? Fine, guys. Anyone have any questions, guys? So this is agile under waterfall, guys. So this is what is SDLC, what methodologies are available in SDLC, right? What is waterfall methodology, what is agile methodology, what are the differences between waterfall and agile methodology, right? What are the, how we can able to overcome the problems, right? Whatever problems which we are facing with waterfall methodology, right? When that waterfall methodology is suitable, right? All these things we discussed, guys. So anyone have any questions in this? Anyone have any questions? In interview, if they ask, tell me something about SDLC. So you guys can able to talk at least half an hour about SDLC. Can you guys, right? You guys can able to talk at least half an hour about SDLC. In interview, if they ask the question, tell me something about SDLC, software development lifecycle. Respond, guys. Hello? Anyone is there? Here practice is not required, Salim. This is theoretical concept only. Here there is no practice. Here, right, in Agile Waterfall, this is just a theoretical concept. Here there is no practice. Once you join in the company, right, automatically you habituated all this process. Right, you habituated everything once you join in the company. Right? Interview point of view, nothing to practice at here. Nothing is there to practice. Here, whatever I mentioned in this notepad, just explain all these things. Just to go through these things, whatever we mentioned it here, just to go through these things and explain whatever I have given in yesterday's session and today's session. That's it. And once you join in the company, once you started working with this agile methodology, then automatically you will habituate the process. Just it is a process, man. That's it. Fine, guys. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm stopping here. Guys, be careful. From tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start with the Linux. Right? From tomorrow onwards, everyday practice must be required. Everyday practice must be required, guys. We are going to discuss commands and everything from tomorrow. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to discuss Linux, guys. Right? Everyday practice must be required here. Okay? Sandeep, any questions do you have? Do you have any questions, Sandeep? Yeah, please ask, Sandeep. What is your question? What is your one minute, Sandeep? I will unmute. Sorry, I forget to unmute. 1 minute, Sandeep. Yeah, Sandeep, you can talk now.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Sandeep.
సార్ ఒక చిన్న డౌట్ సార్, ఇది మీరు ఇందాక డయాగ్రామ్ లో చెప్పినట్టు అవి స్ప్రింట్స్ అనేవి ఇలా డివైడ్ చేయాలి అనేసి కింద చెప్పినారు చూడండి సార్. అవి మన రిక్వైర్మెంట్ తగ్గట్టు డివైడ్ చేసేయడమేనా, లేకపోతే పర్టికులర్ గా ఇన్నే డివైడ్ చేయాలి అనేసి ఏమన్నా ఉందా సార్?
అట్లా ఏముండదండి. రైట్, బేస్డ్ ఆన్ టోటల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎన్ని రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి టోటల్ గా, రైట్, మనం నెక్స్ట్ 2 weeks లో ఎన్ని కంప్లీట్ చేయగలుగుతాము చెప్పారు. స్ప్రింట్ డ్యూరేషన్ వచ్చి 2 weeks అని చెప్పాను కదా. మన దగ్గర ఎంతమంది రిసోర్స్ ఉన్నారు, ఈ రిసోర్స్ 2 weeks లో ఎన్ని కంప్లీట్ చేయగలుగుతారని చెప్పి జస్ట్ వీ నీడ్ టు డిస్కస్ అండ్ డివైడ్, గైస్. సపోజ్ మన దగ్గర ఓన్లీ 3 డెవలపర్సే ఉన్నారు. 3 డెవలపర్స్ 2 weeks లో ఎన్ని చేయగలుగుతారు? సో అది నీకు తెలియాలంటే ఫస్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఓపెన్ చేసి చూడాలి. అసలు ఇదేంటి, వాళ్ళు ఏం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు క్లయింట్. సో ఇది ఎక్కువ టైం పడుతుందా, తక్కువ టైం పడుతుందా అండ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఓపెన్ చేసి నువ్వు గో త్రూ అయిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు వీ కెన్ కేమ్ టు ద కన్క్లూజన్. ఓకే, అట్లీస్ట్ 2 days is required to finish this story like that. Right, we need to go through the requirement, we need to go through the story and how many resources we have in our team. Right, based on that we need to divide.
Okay.
They won't tell. No one will tell. The client side, no one will tell. Right, in first sprint, right, so these many stories should be completed. Like that, they won't tell. Based on our team size, right, based on those requirements, we need to divide.
Okay.
Even sometimes what it will happen, right, in sprint 1, right, assume total 30 sprints, 30 requirements we are going to deliver. It may be some requirements are taking more time. Some stories will take more time. Some dependency is there with some from other teams. There was some dependency from other teams. It will take more time. In that case, if any stories are pending in first sprint, right, 2 weeks only duration, right, but in the 2 weeks, we can complete it only 20 stories. Still 10 more remaining, guys. No problem. Those 10 stories will go forward to next sprint. We will forward those 10 stories to next sprint, guys. Right, next sprint 30 plus 10, 40 is there. Right, we'll see within 2 weeks how many stories we can complete. Those things we will finish. Remaining things we will forward to next sprint. Like that, if any stories are pending, right, those stories will be forwarded to next sprint, guys.
Okay, sir.
Story is completing in the sense not only development. Development should be completed. Testing also should be completed. End to end completed. Then only we can say that story is completed. In Jira, we have the status. For every story, we have the status. Whenever story is created, they will put with the open status. Open status, guys. Once a developer started working on that story, they need to change it as work in progress. In progress, they need to change. Once development is completed, developer should change the status as right, testing, right, hand over to testing, and which tester you are assigning, that tester name also you need to put. Right, after that, tester will take care of the story. You can forget this. Tester will take care. Once the tester is completed the story, tester will close this story, guys. Like this, we have different statuses are available in Jira for each story. At the beginning, it should be in open status. Once a developer is started working on that, you need to change. As a developer, you need to change it as in progress. Once development is completed, you need to assign to some tester and you need to change the status as in testing phase. right? Once testing is completed, tester will close that story. Tester will change the status as closed, right? Then only we can say one story is completed. Okay.
ఓకే సార్. సార్ ఇంకో చిన్న డౌట్ సార్, మీరు డెమో 1లో వచ్చేసి మామూలుగా డెవలప్మెంట్ టీమ్, ఆపరేషన్స్ టీమ్ అనేసి అట్లా డివైడ్ చేసి చెప్తున్నారు కదా.
Correct.
మనము ఆపరేషన్ టీమ్ సైడ్ ఉండేటియే అవి యాన్సిబెల్, కుబర్నెట్, గిట్ హబ్ అనేసి ఇవి చూపిస్తున్నారు.
Correct.
మనము ప్రాజెక్ట్ అనేది, కానీ మనము డెవలప్స్ టీమ్ అంటే డెవలప్మెంట్ ప్లస్ ఆపరేషన్స్ రెండు మనమే చేయాల్సి వస్తుందా సార్?
కొంతమంది అలాగే అనుకో. సో based on that definition, don't feel like that, guys. Development team plus operations, why we are saying in the sense both the teams should work collaboratively. వాళ్ళిద్దరు కలిసి పనిచేయాలని మీనింగ్ దానికి. డెవలప్మెంట్ టీము, ఆపరేషన్స్ టీమ్ కలిసి పనిసి డెవలప్మెంట్ చేస్తున్నారు డెవలపర్స్. వేర్ దే విల్ అప్లోడ్ ద కోడ్?
గిట్ హబ్.
ఎవరు ఆ గిట్ హబ్ లో రిపాజిటరీ ఎవరు క్రియేట్ చేయాలి? వాళ్ళకి వాళ్ళందరూ వాళ్ళు క్రియేట్ చేయలేరు. అది డెవాప్స్ టీమ్ వాళ్ళు క్రియేట్ చేసి పెట్టాలి. అప్పుడే కదా వాళ్ళు డెవలప్మెంట్ చేసిన కూడా అందులో పెట్టేది. సో అంటే వాళ్ళిద్దరు కలిసిపోయి, సో ఇప్పుడు అప్లికేషన్ డెవలప్ చేసిన ప్రాజెక్ట్ని మనం డిప్లాయ్ చేయాలి సర్వర్లో. సో డిప్లాయ్ చేయాలంటే వాళ్ళు డైరెక్ట్ డిప్లాయ్ చేసుకోగలుగుతారా? చేయలేరు. ఫస్ట్ దానికి కావాల్సిన ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ మొత్తం ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ రెడీగా ఉండాలి. ఆ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ఎవరు క్రియేట్ చేస్తారు? డెవాప్స్ టీమ్ వాళ్ళు క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. అందుకని వీళ్ళిద్దరు కూడా కొలాబరేటివ్గా పనిచేస్తేనే ప్రాజెక్ట్ ప్రాపర్గా డెలివరీ అవుతుంది అని మీనింగ్. కొంతమంది డెవలప్మెంట్ ప్లస్ ఆపరేషన్స్ అంటే కొంతమంది ఏమనుకుంటున్నారు, బాబు డెవలప్మెంట్ కూడా మనమే చేయాలా, డెవాప్స్ టీమ్ వాళ్ళు అనుకుంటారు. కాదండి, వీ వాంట్ ఇన్వాల్వ్ ఇన్ ద డెవలప్మెంట్ సైడ్. బోత్ షుడ్ వర్క్, కలిసి పని చేయాలి ఇద్దరు, అంతే.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you. So anyone have any other questions? Fine, guys. So tomorrow we will start our discussion about Linux, guys. Depends on the projects, guys. Depends on the projects. That company, at least DevOps team should work 3 to 4 projects. One team should work for 3 to 4 projects, guys. Projects are 3 projects. Depends on the projects in that company. Why? Because DevOps వాళ్ళ హెల్ప్ ఎప్పుడు అవసరం లేదండి, రైట్? ఎప్పుడు కావాలి వాళ్ళకి? ఫస్ట్ వాళ్ళు ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ క్రియేట్ చేసేస్తారు. ప్రాజెక్ట్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ చెప్తుంది, చెప్పగానే వాళ్ళు ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ మొత్తం క్రియేట్ చేసి పెట్టేస్తారు. తర్వాత వీళ్ళకి కావాల్సిన గిట్లో రిపాజిటరీస్ అన్ని క్రియేట్ చేసి పెట్టేస్తారు, అంతేనండి. తర్వాత వీళ్ళు డెవలప్మెంట్కి 1 month పట్టుద్దో ఎప్పుడు పడుతుందో వీళ్ళు డెవలప్మెంట్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటారండి. ఈ లోపు మనం ఫ్రీగానే ఉంటాం కదా, ఈ లోపు మనం వేరే టీం వాళ్ళకి హెల్ప్ చేస్తూ ఉంటామండి. సో ఎప్పుడైతే వీళ్ళు చెప్తారు, ఎప్పుడైతే కోడ్ కమిట్ చేస్తారు, ఆటోమేటిక్గా మనం ఇదంతా ఆటోమేట్ చేసి పెట్టేస్తున్నాం కదా. వెన్ దే అప్లోడ్ ద కోడ్ ఇన్ ద గిట్ హబ్ రిపాజిటరీ, సో నెక్స్ట్ రిమైనింగ్ థింగ్స్ ఇస్ ద ఆటోమేట్ ప్రాసెస్, రైట్? ఆల్రెడీ we have automated everything, right? Suppose if any deployment got failed, then they will ask us, we need to open the jobs and we need to check the jobs, why jobs are failing, right? What is the problem? So we need to verify and we need to tell to the team, this is the reason, right? You are not writing the test cases properly, test cases are failed, due to that reason jobs are failed. So which reason that the jobs are failed, we need to identify and we need to tell to the development team. So that's why DevOps team should work on multiple projects, not in single project, guys. Okay, I will show, guys, practically I will show where DevOps team will involve, what things the DevOps team should do, all the things end to end I will set up and I will show. Fine, guys. From tomorrow we will start our Linux sessions, guys. Stopping here. Thank you, guys. Good night. Thanks, guys. Good night.